I get parents messaging me,
Oh,
when they have newly diagnosed newborns, and
yeah.
it's just
Do you want a tissue?
yeah, no,
This
I'm
way.
okay. Thank you. Wow. It's
Ah,
really inspiring because I'm like, it's not even about me.
yes,
It's not
yeah.
about me. I'm one in 18,000 people.
Mm.
And my thing is, what impact can I make? What change can I make?
Welcome to In Her Space podcast, a safe space for raw and real conversations with women who have walked in those shoes. Unfiltered experiences makes it her space. Hosted by yours truly, Ivy Ekong. Welcome to another episode of In Her Space podcast. I'm your host, Ivy Ekong. In today's episode, we're going to delve into sickle cell disorder, the effect it has on our loved ones, and how blood donations can play a very vital role in helping those affected by sickle cell disorder. If you or anyone you know is living with this disorder, stay tuned for some useful information on how to improve your overall life. Joining us today is Patrish Zea. Patrish is a model, a multi-award winning sickle cell advocate, chartered surveyor, and lead mentor for Sickle Cell Society Peer Mentoring Program in Southwest London. Diagnosed with sickle cell anemia at age 9, she graduated from UCL and trained with Deloitte while building a successful career in the modeling industry. Driven by her passion for advocacy, she founded Sickle Cell Teller, a charity dedicated to raising awareness and encouraging blood donations. Welcome, Patrish. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm
So good
good.
to have you join in her space today. I hope
Thank
you're
you.
well.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay,
Yeah.
Patrish is so lovely. I first met Patrish last year, isn't it? In
Yes, last
September.
September.
Yeah, during Fashion Week. And I think what stood out to me was her height. She was so tall. When she walked into the room, I was like, wow, she's so pretty and tall. And it's so good that you're using your height to model. So that's amazing. My first question today, which I ask every guest, is what does having a safe space mean to you? Because you are in your space right now, which is a safe space for you. What does that mean to you?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me and good to see you again. Um, I feel that having a safe space for me means being physically and emotionally safe as well. Just
Mm,
those both aspects are very important, like physically and emotionally, especially as a woman. And just being able to be your true, genuine, authentic self.
yeah.
For me, that's having a safe space
Yes.
where you
Yeah.
can be completely free to be
Free.
you and
Yes.
feel safe doing so.
Yeah. And I hope you feel safe here today.
Yes, thank
Yay.
you.
Let's give Patricia a clap. Okay, so can you share your personal journey with sickle cell anemia with us today?
So it all began with my diagnosis when I was 9 years old.
Mm,
I was very sick as a child growing up, in and out of different hospitals in London, trying to find out what
yeah.
was wrong. Then one day, I fainted in school, in a primary school.
Yeah.
Long story short, a doctor finally did a blood test after all the various tests I've done, and that's when I found out I had sickle cell. Yeah, it's been very challenging. It has been a journey, so
Mm,
to speak.
yeah.
I obviously got diagnosed late. Usually, you will know from birth, generally,
Okay.
and then I went on for education. It was only until uni that I kind of started finding out about things such as extra time for exams,
Yeah.
etc., and all the extra support
Yeah.
when it comes to education. And then obviously I started modelling a bit before that. So it's been a journey just balancing like modelling. And then
Yes.
I moved on to do my chartership with Deloitte and become a charter surveyor. That was also a journey in itself. So I feel
Yeah.
like the journey of sickle cell for me has been one, I'd say, where I've had to do things differently. Not that it's necessarily stopped me from doing
Yes,
things,
I think, yeah.
but have had to adapt. So, for example, when I was doing my chartership, doing those final assessments,
Yes.
I didn't do it in the time frame that I wanted to. I was delayed by like a year and a half. I did it like a year and a half later because of the complications I had with sickle cell and my legs, etc.
Yeah.
At that time, I was actually seconded to Homes England, and I was working there, and then I was off for months, and then I was just it's just been like so up and down, so sporadic.
Yeah,
but
you're doing something.
Yeah, so I must say from that, even though I finished a bit later, like, qualification wise, I then progressed on to get even, a higher role somewhere else as like a social director. So even though there were setbacks, I feel like it kind of also propelled me forward as well.
Yes.
And then, I moved on to doing various other things, working in different spaces. I'm a bit of a creative corporate, so mixture of both backgrounds. And I think that the journey continues, really.
Yes,
it's been a journey, you know.
And that is so inspiring to hear that.
Thank
because, you could have said, oh, let me just relax because of what life has thrown at me. But you didn't do that. You're still achieving your goals. Yes, it may take longer, but I think it's very inspiring to know and to see that you're still achieving those goals that you set for yourself. And I personally know how challenging it can be, because I think I mentioned to you that my best friend, she battled for a long time, and I would be with her in the hospital. Sometimes she would say she only wants me there when she's having like an attack. And I remember I used to live about 45 minutes from her, and her mom would call me sometimes in the middle of the night and say, she wants you. You're the only person that she wants to see. And my mom will put me in the car. We'll start driving all the way down. And just having her there, holding her hands, just rubbing her hands. And it's bringing back a lot of memory. You can see my voice is a bit shaky now.
So nice.
So I really, really admired your journey. And well done.
Thank you.
Well done. So what has living with this disorder taught you about, resilience and self-care?
Well, like resilience it's ingrained in your blood and in your bones and your body. It's this condition has taught me a lot about resilience. For example, with sickle cell, you have normal healthy brown red blood cells. With sickle cells, your cells are sickled.
Yeah.
So it's, doing a lot within your body. And for me, it's all about your bounce back rate. Like resilience for me is about your bounce back rate. For example, like bouncing back from a crisis and your bounce back rate. How many times can you bounce back? How many times can you get up and just keep going? And obviously there'll be times where you can't, but it's just, it will happen. It has to happen. That's kind of my mindset. You just have to, there's no other choice really. I just feel like it's such a difficult question because I feel like it's just something that's so innate without even realizing. But I definitely would say for me, it's about your bounce back rate. And then with self-care, again, it's also about taking that time, and self-care is so important. And there might be days where you can't do your skincare, and it's okay if you miss a day.
And it's okay.
Because especially when you're so structured and organized and you want things to be done in a certain way.
Yes.
And sometimes, sickle cell doesn't work that way. There'll be days where, let's say, you might be in so much pain, or you might be extremely exhausted. And I incorporate a lot of self-care into my routine and into my lifestyle, a lot of well-being. Good. And, it's such an important role in my life. Spa days, facials, this, that, the other, and just little things as well. I think it's really important just to have that thing, whatever it is that you do for self-care.
Things that bring you joy.
Exactly. And it does help you as well when you feel good, and when you look good, it can help you internally as well. It's kind of synonymous. In terms of the internal state and how it can just balance you out a bit, for me anyway, in my experience. So, I might be in the hospital, I remember this a couple of years ago, and I was like to my mum, I need all my skincare. And I did all my skincare whilst on admission. That was like, 2020 admission. That was my 2020 admission with the leg complications. And it just helped. Even though I was in there and I was literally like, couldn't walk, learning to walk again, I was like, let me just do some skincare. And feel good.
Yes, it's always good
You
to
know?
do that as women. I think it's so important to find those little things that bring you joy. And for you, it's just skincare, which is great. And for someone else, it may be something else. But whatever it is that brings you joy, no matter how little,
Yeah.
I would say yes, of course, indulge
Yeah,
once in a
definitely.
while.
And
Yes.
spa days,
And spa days.
always. Like,
Yeah,
I'm a spa
I
queen.
love spa days. I love
Oh,
massages.
yeah,
Oh
me
my
too.
God. Yeah, so many people struggle, right, with the stigma surrounding sickle cell, especially in Nigeria,
Yeah.
where we're from. There's still not enough information um, about sickle cell and awareness as well. So, how do you? I don't know. Have you ever faced any misconception or any biases, and how do you navigate that as a Nigerian woman?
As a Nigerian woman, wow. I mean, there's so much misconceptions within sickle cell, and that I've personally experienced, that I know many friends and advocates and other people have experienced.
Yeah.
For example, in the hospital, not being believed, because the level of pain that we can experience,
Yes.
people have described it as being worse than childbirth.
It is.
We require medication, very strong medication like opioids, and
Yes.
imagine, you're not being believed for your pain, or they don't understand how serious it is or
Yeah.
how intense it is. There's misconceptions around that. There's misconceptions around, for example, when it comes to your appearance, particularly as,
Yeah.
being a model as well, being someone that, likes skincare and beauty.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tracksuit and trainers. Sometimes it's, makeup
Yes.
and
yes,
heels.
yes,
But I
yeah.
mean, that whole perception of not looking,
A
sick,
certain way,
and
right?
like,
Yeah.
but you don't look sick. You don't look like you have sickle cell. But internally, your cells are doing something different, and your
Yes.
body's, literally doing something different.
Yeah.
So there's misconceptions there about your appearance. I've had times where I've been told, "Oh, you look fine," or you were fine yesterday, and it's like sometimes you're
Yeah.
not as vocal about what you're experiencing, especially if it's chronic pain and it's ongoing and it's long standing. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot. There's so many. There's stuff when it comes to hospitals and healthcare professionals. Not all of them, but
Yeah.
we have had many experiences. And also when it comes to your physical appearance as well. And I think,
And when it comes to your maybe friends, family, how do you think? Like, how do they handle that? I'm sure your immediate family, of course, they know when you're in pains, but your extended family and friends, maybe, do you think they are aware, when you need them to be?
I feel that in all honesty, we carry it so well and hide it so well. But I do have, some friends and family, even those that don't have sickle cell, they can see in my eyes and they'll be like, I can see, like, you're okay.
Yes, I used to do that with
you
my
know,
friend too. I just know sometimes.
just see it in your
sometimes she
eyes.
tries to hide it too because she's like, I don't want to bother anyone. Like, why won't you want to bother anyone? That's what like. This is your life.
Yeah.
Please bother me. Tell
Yeah.
me. I want to know.
No.
So, do you have support like that?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. I've got a good support system. I feel that a lot of people are aware.
Yeah.
It can be challenging, similar to your friend. You don't want to burden anyone. You don't want to be a
Yes,
bother. But I might have a friend that says, "Oh, I can see it in your eyes," or like, they can see your energy's a bit lower,
Yeah.
or you're
That's
moving a
good.
bit slower, or do you know what I mean? And they have that care and consideration. Like, okay, no,
That's
like,
very
take
good.
your time, or just check it. Are you okay?
Yes.
So I feel that support is there, which I'm grateful for, because I know that not everyone has that.
Yeah.
But again, it can be challenging because sometimes you're just there and you're just suffering in silence. And it's just like, I just don't want to bother anyone today. But if they see you and they can see it, then I feel that it is appreciated, and I'm just like, it just melts my heart. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, how did
Aw.
you know? And I particularly other people with sickle cell as well. They can spot it
They can
sometimes,
spot it,
like
yeah.
more
More.
so than
Yes, yeah,
other
of
friends, family. But I
course.
feel that unless you have the condition, it's difficult to really fully comprehend it, and you
Yes.
you can understand it. And I appreciate, the family and the friends that really try their best to understand the condition and what's
Yeah.
going on, and like the education and the learning
Yeah.
that they're really delving into, and just the awareness that they're
Yeah.
spreading as well.
Yeah. But only you know where the feet hurt. It's like having a baby. I always say you do not know how it feels to push that baby out until you actually do it. So I think that's like a good way to sort of compare. I know there's no comparison, but you are the only person who knows. No other no matter how much you try to explain it or tell someone how you're feeling, or even the doctor or the nurse, only you knows what exactly your body is going through. So yeah. And so what inspired you to become an advocate for sickle cell and raising awareness? And yeah, so just tell us a little bit about how your advocacy journey began.
Right. Wow. I feel that firstly, as you how do I word this?
Take your time.
I'd say
Take your time.
you're an advocate whether you like it or not. It's if you're using your voice for something that you believe in, something you're passionate about, whatever it is you're using your voice for and advocating for, you're an advocate. You don't need a title or an award. Of course, there are so many things like that make one an advocate. It's not just doing the whole public speaking and things where it's visible to others.
Yeah.
For example, when you're at work, or when you're on set, or when you're in a shop, or when you're in the hospital,
Yeah.
you're an advocate. So I feel like, I just want to put it out there, like I feel like we're all advocates in our own ways if we're
In
using
our
our voice
own
for
ways.
something.
Absolutely.
What inspired me to actually, I'd say, publicly come out of the closet of hiding was I was just tired of hiding. I was tired of hiding. Sickle teller. I've been speaking since 2016, doing speaking engagements, raising awareness for sickle cell, mainly through those different speaking engagements and press
Okay.
engagements. And I only came out publicly during lockdown 2020. So World Sickle Cell Day
Wow.
2020, 19th of June. I said, enough's enough now. Like, you have to speak out and
Yeah.
share, the awareness
Yes,
and
yes.
some of your experiences, and just more for the education purposes as well, and
Purposes,
just for the just to break misconceptions and to create more understanding and just keep the
Yeah.
conversation going. So that's when I basically publicly started doing Sickle Teller.
Okay.
But I've been doing it for a long time, and the journey has been great. I've had great opportunities. We did a blood drive recently with the local
Yes.
Kettle Brothers. We've done so many things,
I
and that
still
was
need to stop by.
yeah,
and
no,
donate, and
definitely.
donate. I
Please
will
do.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, that was amazing and that was in September as well.
Yeah.
September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, so that was in collaboration with so many other sickle cell advocates. It was great to meet some of them in person. Some I knew already, some I didn't. So that was
Yeah.
lovely. And that was kind of facilitated in a space where it's a different space than what you would normally have these kind of events in. So
Yeah.
it's been a journey for me, mainly like public speaking. I work a lot with healthcare providers, charities, government
Yeah.
organizations, and particularly within the corporate space as well, just to give more awareness about invisible disabilities, chronic illnesses in the workplace.
That's really good.
So I've done a few things last
done.
year with different companies.
Well
So
done, Patrish.
yeah, it's been
Well done,
great.
well
Thank
done,
you. Yeah,
well
and then
done.
obviously like more recently will be the Sickle Cell Society, their peer mentoring program, and
Okay.
just being commissioned for the Southwest London region to do mentoring facilitations with stakeholders, and just getting people involved with the
Yeah.
program, getting them aware about the program, and also providing support to the young people. So
Yes.
that's something that I was very close to my heart and very
Okay.
passionate about. So it's been a whole whirlwind of a journey from speaking to
Yeah.
blood drives to the society and the peer mentoring program.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I think we need more people like you. Like you said, that you didn't want to come out, and I know there are a lot of people like you, who don't want to come out as well, and they just want to deal with it, behind closed door. And when they come out, they put on a smile. But I would, I think if you come out, you're inspiring someone. You're letting someone know that you can still live and have a beautiful life while dealing with, this challenge along the way. So it's always good to gather yourself and
definitely
and come out so that other people can look up to you and just say, wow, if Patrish can do it, then I can do it too. Imagine having a lot of voice, out there talking about this and raising awareness. That would be so amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm getting emotional now because I get parents messaging me, when they have newly diagnosed newborns, and it's just
do you want a tissue?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. Thank you. Wow. It's really inspiring because I'm like, it's not even about me. It's not about me. I'm one in 18,000 people. And my thing is, what impact can I make? What change can I make? At Deloitte, the slogan was making an impact that matters. And that's stuck with me even after I've moved on from there. Making an impact that matters. I want to make an impact that matters. And what change can I make? And what can I do within the healthcare space? And that's what inspires me as well.
Just being here today, you're doing that. Because
you.
A lot of people are going to hear your voice, are going to listen to this, and and you have inspired, even though it's one person, you've done your job for the day, honestly. Are you able to continue?
Oh, yes. No.
For me too. Do you know, I was just telling my assistant, I was like, I have to hold myself not to cry today. I have so that I can actually go through with this, because it's such a sensitive topic for me, especially when I remember my friend and everything she's, is still very fresh for me, because we were close friends from childhood, primary school, secondary school, uni, and she passed, I think, second year in uni after battling so much. So I was there all through it all. So yeah, it's a very touching, topic for me. But yeah, okay.
Wow.
So can you highlight the importance of blood donation? What is the importance of blood donation? Because you the first time we met, I think we bonded over that. Like, what do you want people listening to you right now to know about donating blood to help people living with sickle cell disorder?
Wow. Blood donation is such a serious topic, and obviously I've learned so much more about it being on the receiving end. Blood donation is really important for people with sickle cell. First of all, I'd like to highlight that not every single person with sickle cell receives blood, but it is one of the primary main treatment options in terms of management options. And it literally saved my life. It helped me to go through the complications I had of my legs, and it saved my life. It saved my legs, and it's so important because only 1% of blood donors are of a Black heritage.
Okay.
And ethnically matched blood is better. I see. It's very important. I receive 8 units every 5 weeks, and 1 unit equals 1 donor. And I'm so thankful to blood donors, because without them, I wouldn't be able to be here today, I don't believe. So, I started doing it in 2020, and it's been life-changing. It's life-changing for so many others as well.
Can we just pause so that you can breathe?
Yeah.
Let's clap our hands for blood donors.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
A big clap if you donate blood and you're thinking of, please go ahead and do that. You don't know you're saving a life or more lives. Yeah,
honestly. And it's not just, blood donation. It's so important for everyone. And, for example, you don't know when someone's going to have an accident.
Yes.
It's used in emergency procedures. It's used in childbirth sometimes. It's used for surgeries.
Everything.
So it's a lot of things. But the essence of an exchange blood transfusion, it's literally removing about 80% of my sickled red blood cells and replacing them with healthy, round red blood cells from donors. And that would not be possible without blood donors. So it's very important. There are obviously so many other uses for blood, but in the topic of sickle cell, it is one of the management options, and we don't have many options at all. It's literally blood donation, blood exchange, sorry, a top-up transfusion, which is like just a blood transfusion, not an exchange, and then you have a medication, which I can't take anymore, hence why I had to switch to the exchanges.
I see.
And then possibly a stem cell transplant if you're eligible, and even that's risky. So it's very limited in options, and we've had new medications that have come out last year which got withdrawn, which I was a party of one of those. It was affected by one of those. So I rely on it. So many of us rely on it, and it's so vital, and it takes literally 5 minutes to donate blood in terms of the actual process. It's really easy. You get nice snacks and treats after. And you just register, blood.co.uk, and it's very simple.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So if you're listening, please keep donating blood. We're going to put Patrish details as well, and you can check our Instagram. There's a link, isn't it, on your Instagram to where you can register to donate blood. So let's move on. There's often a lack of representation and understanding when it comes to sickle cell. What changes would you like to see in the healthcare, research, and general public awareness? What changes would you like to see that you think would really impact, people who have this disorder?
So I feel that with healthcare, if we start there, listening to patients, making them feel that they're being heard, more education and awareness. I've hosted a few education days for A&E staff in emergency departments and hospitals. I've finally seen some improvement, which is great. And, it's just that whole hospital experience, because the ED department is the first point of contact for many people when they're having a crisis.
Yes.
And it's very time critical, There's, so many preventable deaths that we hear about. And obviously, someone close to me as well, another advocate. So it's a very big part of my advocacy when it comes to sickle cell and changes I'd like to see within healthcare, particularly within the ED departments. And obviously it's something I'm working on, and obviously there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes with them and with others as well. I think when it comes to research, we have had, new breakthrough medications and treatments that have come through. However, they have been withdrawn. And then we've had another one recently that's come out,
again,
which is great. I think, we just need more. Compared to another chronic condition, I don't like to compare illnesses at all.
Yes.
Just on a factual basis. There's only 3 treatment options available for sickle cell, to my understanding, which I highlighted earlier. Whereas some others have got like 511. So 3 compared to 511, that's a big disparity, there's a big disparity there. And when it comes to the general public, I would say just keep making noise and just keep using your voice, keep being loud about it, and tell it loud, and just spread the awareness. Do your research as well. Ask the questions. We're all here to answer any questions. We might not have all the answers, because sickle cell is so unique to the individual.
Yes.
It's like a fingerprint. It's so unique and so different, affects everyone differently. But at least understanding more about it and just spreading the word about it, because it's getting a bit more public. I feel there's been much more awareness, particularly with the rise of supercell and things like that. And I did an article for that last year, and I just saw so much in the media about sickle cell, and I was just like, amazing. We've seen it in pop culture a lot of TV programs, films. So it's great, and I think we just need more of that. So the changes I would like to see, I thought those are the main ones: more awareness, more education, more advocacy, and just less taboo around it as well.
Around it, yes. Especially in the African sort of culture.
It's not contagious.
No.
It's genetic.
It's genetic.
And know your genotype,
Yes.
And that's a big change as well. People knowing their genotype. That's a big change I'd like to see more of. people generally are aware, but many aren't still. And I think that's a very important thing to highlight.
Yeah, many people, a lot of people still don't care, especially in where we come from and Africa in general. And I do see things like people say, oh, I don't care, our blood group is the same. And because I love this person, I'm just going to go ahead and marry this person. And I don't know if to say that is a bit selfish because you're bringing a child into the world, who didn't ask to come into that situation that you have put that child in. And you want the child to, for the rest of the child's life, to live with this disorder. So I think we have to sort of remove that selfishness around it and make decisions for your unborn children and generation.
No, 100%. I feel that, and I agree. I feel it is very selfish.
Yeah.
It's something I've made very clear, and I'm very vocal about it. Unless you are unaware, you don't know,
yes,
that's
exactly.
different. For example, my situation, one was aware of the genotype, one wasn't. So it was like, here I am. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like we have the education now, we have the tools, we have the knowledge. Go to your GP, say your family planning, get your genotype tested. It's very, a straightforward process and very important. And it is selfish, in my opinion. If you can avoid it, avoid it. I feel, that's just my personal opinion.
I agree with you. What role do you think community and sisterhood plays in supporting women and people living with sickle cell, and how can we do better? I know we've talked about the healthcare. So when I mean community, I mean your close friends, the people in your circle, the people, so what role do they play, and what would you like to see more of?
They play a vital role. Like, they play a very key role in terms of just navigating this condition. You feel like you're not doing it alone. You feel like you have the support. Community is very important.
Yes.
We're social beings. We're meant to be, with people, around people. And I think on the flip side, I'd say to myself and to anyone else who's similar to me with sickle cell, to accept the help
yes.
not be so isolated. So I feel that, just more understanding, I'd say, is good. And, we have to obviously give each other grace as well. And, I'm very grateful for the grace that people give to me. And I also give them that grace as well. And I think that's key as well.
Yeah.
And understanding that everyone's going through their own things as well.
Yeah.
So it plays a huge role. Sisterhood in particular as well. I'm very close to, a lot of my cousins, and they're like my sisters. A lot of my close friends are like my sisters as well. Do you know what I mean?
So important.
I feel I have that sisterhood and I have that community, which I'm really grateful for. And it plays a very key role, in just being able to just navigate this life. Sickle cell even aside, like just navigating and having that support system and being there for each other.
I agree. I think women, we need to sort of come together a bit more and be for each other rather than against each other. Yeah. So because, that sisterhood is so important in life. Life is hard enough. Yeah. What can listeners do today to support sickle cell advocacy and make a difference in the lives of those living with this disorder?
So I would say the top thing. Please give blood if you can.
Okay.
That'll be a great big support to the sickle cell community.
Highlight 5 things.
Highlight 5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So give blood.
Yes.
Know your genotype.
Good.
Very important.
Very important.
If you don't know, ask your GP, say your family planning, and get your genotype tested and find out. Educate yourself on sickle cell. Just ask the questions. Don't be afraid to, do a bit of research. Obviously, Google's not the best place for everything. But reach out to people. You can even reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions. Just, find out a bit more about sickle cell and how it kind of affects people
People.
to have a bit more understanding of the condition and raise awareness, please. Help us in this journey, raising awareness,
Yes.
spread the word, particularly when it comes to blood donations and the actual condition itself, because many people are still unaware as to what sickle cell is. The fifth thing. This is...
I would say be kind.
I was literally going to say that, but I thought, oh my gosh, that's so cheesy. Be kind and just
be kind.
Everyone's got their own battles and things they're going through, and just be kind, spread the love, and just walk in love. Continue walking in love, and be kind. I'd say.
My last and final question. This is a bit, I've had someone cry just talking about this. What would you tell your younger self? If your younger self was sitting next to you right now, what would you tell your younger self?
Wow.
Take your time.
I'd tell my younger self, I'm sure she told me a lot of things as well, actually. Because when she was diagnosed at 9 years old, she was like, okay, well, I don't have that. Yeah. Very resilient, very defiant. I'll tell her that never give up. And I will tell her that you can do anything, and things might take a bit longer, but you will get it done. Keep going. You really have got this, and you're going to surprise yourself, and you're going to keep surprising yourself.
That's good. Yeah. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, very well done. Thank you so much, Patrish, for joining us today. And it was really, really lovely having you and just, giving us more insight about sickle cell disorder. I know you've had to hold yourself a lot of times from crying. And I have had to do the same as well, because this was a really, really, really emotional interview for me. And yes, I'm so glad that you were able to make it. So thank you so much for coming. And for our listeners out there, I'm sure you've heard everything, especially the last key points that Patrish has given to you. Just be kind. I think I'll leave my audience with that. Be kind. You don't know what someone is going through. Sometimes we, as women, we cover a lot with our makeup. But when you strip the makeup away, then you get to see what someone is actually going through and how they look, behind that makeup. So I think that's what I always sort of use when I want to put myself in someone else's situation. I always just say, people mask a lot. So just be kind. Be kind to your friends. Be kind to your neighbor. Be kind to people you don't even know. I think a little kindness goes a long way. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's podcast. You can watch and listen on our social media channels. We're on YouTube and all podcast streaming platforms. Remember to subscribe, share, let us know your thoughts on this episode, and I'll see you again in our next episode. Remember, it's your space. Bye.